Alright guys, here we go with another one. Today we're going to be doing the Hyper Tough 20 volt lithium ion circular saw. That's going to be a 6.5 inch, sold at Walmart. RPMs 0 to 4,000. It's variable speed trigger. Comes with a 1.5 amp hour battery. And yeah, we'll go ahead and start off with the battery. Here's the box. Okay, so here's our battery, Hyper Tough. Right here it says it has 27 watt hours, 1.5 amp hours. Go ahead and check out the batteries here. Okay, so looks to me like glass fiber reinforced nylon. Not 100% sure, no markings as of yet. Okay, now getting into the battery. On our PCB board, I don't see any MOSFETs. I do see our charge control. I do see a balancing. And then looks like here a heat thermistor. I think. Don't quote me on that. Let's see, going into here. Okay, so yes, it is PA6 glass fiber reinforced nylon. Of course, I always like to double check these. Let's go ahead and get this out. Here we go. So, very simple. Yep, okay, so there's definitely glass fiber in there. So, like I said, very standard on the board here. Let's go ahead and check out our cells. Looks to be 18650s by a company called High Star, so Chinese, no name. These look to be 1500 milliamps, so yep, there you go, 1.5 amp hours. They're off-brand cells, but they don't look bad. Seems all right. All right, now to get into the drill here. The drill does come with an Allen key. It actually fits on the tool so you don't use it, lose it, which is pretty nice. Your brake's right here, so and remember these are always going to be reverse thread, so if you want to tighten it, you got to loosen it, and if you want to loosen it, you got to tighten it. So we'll start by removing our blade. Go ahead and bring that out, and it does come with a 6.5 inch steel blade, carbide tipped. I've been doing some cuts with it. It is just a ripping blade, 24 tooth, like I said. It's not the greatest, but I mean it works for what you need it to do. Looks like we got our spacer here. Go ahead and place that over there. Like I said, I've made some passes with it. It hasn't dulled up on me yet, but you know I haven't had too much experience with it, so I won't participate in the longevity. Okay, so as we see here, we have piece of hardened steel to hold the blade on. Looks here we have a bearing. Can't see the stand. Oh yes, this is a 600Z. Okay, so almost like a skateboard bearing, not quite. Skateboard bearing is 608, but very similar. Okay, so this plastic feels to me like just regular old ABS, but you know, I'd hope not. This is a circular saw at 4,000 RPM, so I would hope that there's glass fiber in here. But let's go ahead and take a look. Oh, actually, I think we have to take the front part off first. So, one moment. Got to get my snap ring pliers. Okie dokie. So, you're going to have to remove the snap ring, which is right here. So, like so, we're going to go ahead and place our snap ring pliers in. Hate these things, guys. Ah, jeez. One moment. Sorry, I got a terrible pair of snap ring pliers. I mean, they are terrible. Sorry guys, I know this is probably just as annoying as it is for me. Anybody out there, do not buy these. These are the Harbor Freight snap ring pliers, the cheap ones. They are garbage. Absolute garbage. I mean, look at that. These things just came apart all by themselves. Okay, well, now that they're apart and there is no spring, let's see if I can't get it now. Boy, that just really doesn't want to go, guys. All right, one moment. With any luck, I'll be able to edit this part out. Sorry guys, I'm new to making videos. These are terrible, guys. Terrible. By far the worst snap ring pliers I have ever owned. But to be fair in judgment, I've only owned 2 pairs of snap ring pliers. So, just a little FYI. Okay, finally got it. There's our snap ring. And then from here, that piece just comes right up. Place that aside. There's a small bushing underneath. Make sure not to lose it. And then from here, looks like we have a 12 millimeter. Now, once again, I am guessing on that, but we'll see. Okay, so yes, that is going to be a 12 millimeter. Like we were going the wrong way. So these are also reverse threaded, guys. So go ahead and bring that up like so. Looks like we're catching on the back here. Okay, place that off. 12 millimeter nut. One more washer underneath that. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and all right. So to get that off. Going to be one step later here. There we go. Or no, there we don't go. Okay. Okay, so going to be on a little further here. Go ahead and get these off. So it looks like we have 4 fasteners. Small aluminum ring here. Make sure we don't lose any of our fasteners here, guys. Which I believe, oh, there we go. Okay, so from there, this should just pop up like so. We can disconnect that. That's going to be our plastic guard. From here, it looks like we got a couple more. Go ahead and get that out of the way with our rubber bumper. Okie dokie. Looks like we got some screws under here. Boom. And then, oh, looks like we got 3. Oh, no, there's a 4th one back here. Okie dokie. So all 4 of those have been removed. And guys, this looks to be just aluminum alloy. I do not believe that this is magnesium. You can go ahead and do a simple test here. Yeah, so this is just aluminum. Okay, so no zinc, no magnesium, nothing like that. Nothing special here. So from here, we're going to go ahead and see if it's not ready to come off for us. Oh, that's right. We still have that nut that we haven't removed. So let's go ahead and remove that now. There we go. So From there, now this should just come right up. There we go. Okay, so looks like we do have a little ring underneath that's going to sit right there like so. So from here we can see just all aluminum. Like I said, the bottom piece just does look like steel, as well as the guide here. This as well looks like steel, not hardened or anything, just cheap, but still not too bad. I mean, remember the price tag on this, $39.99. So I mean, for that, pretty solid. I'm gonna go and place this over here, start to get into the meat of her. So here's our base here, right? We have our brake here. We have our safety trigger here. We have obviously our variable speed trigger here. We also have, this is glass fiber reinforced, at least this part. Like I said, this part itself though just feels like ABS. We're gonna go ahead and do a test here. Yeah, I don't hear any glass fiber. So this is just gonna be cheap sewer pipe ABS, which on a circular saw isn't ideal. But let's go ahead and get into the meat of her. Yeah, gotta be a little better. Okie dokie. These last few I'm going to have to do by hand. I do not have a deep enough bit to get in there, so we'll go ahead and go in by hand on these last few here. And these are just number 2 Phillips, just in case you guys were curious. Go ahead and back those out. 1. Ooh, that one's in there good and tight, guys. You know, for ABS plastic, I wouldn't recommend tightening that back as tight as they had it. You don't want to strip these out. It's not like you could add any inserts. So, you know, just keep that in mind if you are going to go ahead and take yours apart. These are just threaded directly into plastic, so keep that in mind. Okay, and did we go ahead and get this one? Okay, I think we have them all. Let's go ahead and lift. All right. And remember, guys, make sure you're not catching on anything. These wires are not staked on. They are just simply soldered on. So it looks like this piece here is stuck. It doesn't, oh, there we go. Okay, so here's our back side. We do have markings here. I'm not sure if you guys can see that. That does in fact say PA6 glass fiber reinforced nylon. So it says 30% glass fiber. It says that the outside is a TPE, which is a thermoplastic elastomer. But like I said, guys, we'll do another test just for shits and giggles. But I mean, yeah, there is no glass fiber in there. And I'll bring it up so maybe you guys can hear it, but there is no glass fiber. So Walmart, Hyper Tough, I mean, that is just an outright lie. To put PA6 glass fiber reinforced nylon on there, 30%, in which it should be. I mean, this is a 4,000 RPM, you know, circular saw. I mean, this is a very dangerous tool. You'd like some strength and durability to it. Yeah, ABS, putting on their PA6, not cool. But, you know, regardless, I mean, look at that, guys. I'm not putting any pressure at all. This is a very weak plastic. But regardless, let's keep going into her. Now to look at some of our electronics. You can see here we do in fact have a no-name switch. This is a Jinwan. Sorry guys, I'm not good with the Chinese. That's going to be a 24 volt DC trigger, variable speed. So it's a little overrated, which is good. You know, you don't want it underrated. It's rated up to 20 amps as well. So once again, overrated. That does look like it's glass fiber reinforced, which it is. Okay, so going down to look at the board here, let's take a look at our board. On our board, it looks like we have 2 MOSFETs. Looks like we have a snubber diode. Also looks like we have some temperature control here. Very basic. Once again, like I said, nothing's staked on. Everything's just soldered together. I really don't like that. I would like these to be staked on. You know, that just being hooked up to the board like that, you're jamming the battery in and out. You know, eventually these little solders are probably going to give. Now, that's just my opinion. Everybody has their own. But if you look at Makita, you look at Bosch, you look at some of the other companies, they are not just soldering this piece in. They're using glass fiber and actually staking it to the board. Okay? But, you know, that's the price of it. This is why. You know, there's no pass-throughs for temperature. Okay, well, let's get in the meat of her. Looks like we got some more screws to go here. Here they are. All right. All right, and these are all going to be too long for the drill, so these are all going to have to be by hand. We'll go ahead and start that now. Okie dokie. Yeah, and maybe this bottom piece is PA6 glass fiber. I mean, in hopes, because the bottom piece is in fact the part that's holding the motor, and it's also the part that's, you know, holding the bearing and holding the blade, you know, so perhaps this bottom part is, and maybe just the top handle part is shitty ABS. Excuse my language, I do apologize. Yeah, I don't know. It seems to be of the same material. A lot of the times you can actually tell a glass fiber reinforced nylon from an ABS just by looking at it, because a lot of the times you will see a difference. It almost looks gritty, shiny grit to it. If you see that shiny grit to it, you can pretty much tell that it does have glass fiber in it. And this, as you can see, it's very just all uniform. The plastic is very uniform. And yeah, it's just, it doesn't appear to me to be glass fiber reinforced nylon. In fact, it doesn't even appear to be nylon, which, you know, kind of cheesy if you ask me. Looks like we got one hidden bolt here in the back. Screw, my apologies. Go ahead and get this guy out. Okay, all right. So, let's get hopefully into the meat of her here. Okay, oh, coming apart. Looks like we're gonna, oh, there we go. All right, the sticker was just holding it. Oh, and a couple screws. Come on now. Okay. Okie dokie. And whenever you feel a tug like that, didn't separate, don't just pull it, because you're going to rip one of these wires and then you're going to be upset about it. Something tells me Walmart's not going to take it back. Okay, so here we go. So again, we're looking at here. I don't see any specific markings on this piece, but once again, it just looks like ABS. We're going to go ahead and give them the benefit of the doubt and go ahead and run a test on it here. Okay, so no, there is no glass fiber in there. It does have some standard bearing grease here, or, you know, it's, what can I say? It's just standard grease here, guys. I mean, it's much more rigid than this. I mean, this piece just moves right around. This piece I can't move with my hand. So, I mean, it is nice and thick. The molding itself is good. I mean, it's got some liners here to hold the motor. It's got some stake downs to hold it in place. I mean, it's solid. There's no doubt about that. Oh, you know, and maybe it's polycarbonate, but, you know, it's not going to be polycarbonate because they would have put that. You know, the fact that they put PA6 glass fiber reinforced nylon tells me that, you know, they cheaped out. They used ABS and tried to convince you that it was, you know, glass fiber reinforced nylon. But let's go ahead and put the case down. Let's get back into the meat of her. Okay, now for what everybody wanted to see. What kind of motor could a $40 circular cordless saw have in it? Well, to no one's surprise, it is just a standard canned motor, you know, like a Mabuchi motor, except for I bet you this isn't even a Mabuchi name brand. I bet you it's just some random. But let's go ahead and check. Other side of the casement seems to be the same. So, this is actually the entire module. Okay, so there's that bearing. Look at that, guys. That bearing slid right off. Talk about, I mean, that is not supposed to do that. These are supposed to be pressed onto there. So, you know, once again, just not very tight clearances. But, you know, you get what you pay for, guys. Here we go. So we have some, looks to be steel. Yeah, definitely steel, but it looks like centered metal on these gears here. Here's your sun gear, one planetary gear. yeah, so into here, this is hardened. Okay, so this is going to be heat treated hardened steel, at least on the axle point, which is good. You know, that's the part taking up the blade. That's the part doing most of the work. So here we go. This just looks to be anodized aluminum, if I had to take a guess. For the motor, looks like we got, looks like a 775. I could be wrong. Oh, here's the markings. Okay, so we have a CRS 775 18 volt. So yeah, I was right on that. This is just a everyday can motor, 775. Very common. You'll see this in a ton of tools nowadays, and I mean a ton. And you'll see it in all kinds of stuff, actually. This is a very common motor. This and the 550. The 775 and the 550 are probably the most common motors you're going to see in the 18 volt category. I believe this motor is 23,000 RPMs. Not exactly sure. I know on this end it's going to be putting out 4,000 because that's what the box tells me. But, you know, how much reduction is there? I would probably say 6. But, I don't know. We'll test that later. But once again, you see here, this is just, there's nothing staked on here. These are just soldered together. And if you look in the back here, that's just that looks like a centered bronze bushing. That's not an actual... it's not an actual bearing. And if you look at the front here, okay, so we do have a small bearing in the front here. So, and we do have a roller bearing here. So, not bad. I mean, honestly, for the price of it, it's amazing. It truly is. But, you know, here we go. Here's how they were able to do it so cheap. No name switch. Hardly any electronics, very basic, which I don't mind. I mean, basic electronics last longer. That's just a fact. Once again, basic can motor. But, you know, I don't really mind that either because these are so common that if you were to break this, I mean, you could go on eBay or Alibaba and pick one of these motors up for $7. And, I mean, you're talking a couple screws, pop it out, fits right back in, couple dots of solder. You're in and out. I mean, less than $10 you could fix this drill even if the biggest component in it broke. So there is a benefit to using cheap, no-name jelly bean parts because they're easy to find, you know, and they're inexpensive. So I don't mind that. Honestly, from what I've been using this thing for, 2x4s, sheet wood, it cuts through it no problem. Cuts through it like butter. So, I mean, it's definitely up to the task. The only problem I really have with this drill is the fact that they're putting PA6 glass fiber reinforced nylon on the product. And it's not. This is either ABS or polypropylene. I don't think that this is glass fiber reinforced nylon. I just don't. And it's because you can hear glass when you cut it. It's a very simple, basic test that has been sure proof for me the entire way. So, you know, like I said, for $40, you're not going to beat it. We haven't gone over the charger yet, so we'll go ahead and go over the charger now. This is your brake here. Looks to be steel, if I had to take a guess. Here's our charger. This is going to be a very slow charger. This is where they were able to bring down the cost here. If you look at this, this is not a docking station. This is something that simply clips onto the battery here. 0.3 amps. So you can expect 3 to 4 hours full charge, and that's just on a 1.5 amp hour battery. I do know that Walmart does sell 2 amp hour batteries for $17, and then I do believe that they sell a 2.5 amp hour battery with a USB port attached and an LED light so you can see how much charge you have left for $35. I would highly recommend just buying the 2 amp hour batteries because they're a lot cheaper. But if you do want to charge your phone off the batteries, then maybe that's something you're into. They do actually make a docking charger for these. In fact, they even make a dual docking charger for these. I believe the regular one is a 3 amp charger, and I believe that that one is $19.99. And then they have a dual charger, which is once again a 3 amp charger, but it charges 2 batteries at the same time, and I believe that's $29.99. So rinky-dink charger that comes with, but they do have options to upgrade. Overall, for $39.99, this is an absolute steal. I mean, it really is. You're not going to find anything else on the market that has lithium ion cordless technology for $40. You're just not. Not even close. I mean, you could double that and not find it, you know, because double that, you know, that's $80. What cordless circular saw with battery and charger can you find for $80? You just can't. So, if you guys like this video, please like, share, and subscribe. I don't have a lot of subscribers. I do enjoy taking apart things and putting them back together. If you enjoy this as much as I do, please comment down below and like, share, and subscribe. I hope you all have a wonderful day and stay classy, San Diego.